These are the 3 tests that I use with my perimenopause female clients to help them lose weight when it seems impossible. In this video, I'm going to show you my exact 3-step process that I use with my clients during perimenopause to help them lose the weight without extreme diets, without adding more exercise, maybe sometimes eating more, and what interventions we do once we have the results of these tests. If you're a woman, you started perimenopause, like you're 40 or older, sometimes even 35, you start feeling changes in your hormones, maybe gaining weight, or a feeling that it's impossible to lose the 3 pounds that you used to lose very easy. This is due to hormonal changes, and not everything is about willpower. Often, my clients come to me and they say, Karen, I already got tested by my PCP and I don't have any hormonal problem. Well, let me tell you something. What your PCP tests has nothing to do with the 3 things that we test. Doctors test for the major hormones. Yeah, they're checking you don't have hypothyroidism or something major. But here is the secret. I am Karen Oliver. I'm your host. I'm a certified health and nutrition coach as well as personal trainer. And I'm going to give you all my secrets today. First test that I run for my female clients is a cortisol test. Oh, my doctor tests my cortisol all the time and it's perfect. No, wrong. Your doctor tests your free blood cortisol. Your free cortisol in blood. That doesn't tell us anything. If you really want to know your cortisol and what's happening, you need to test it with your saliva. It's a saliva test. And you test for a 4-point cortisol curve. Means it's going to tell you how your cortisol is in the morning when you wake up, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, at night. Cortisol should have a specific curve. It starts going high when you wake up. It reaches peak around 11 a.m. and then starts slowly going down so you can go to sleep. If your cortisol is dysregulated, it's outside this normal curve or frame, you are going to struggle to lose weight. Because if your cortisol is high, you're going to have cravings and anxiety that you're not going to be able to control. And it is not about willpower. It is your hormones taking power of you, taking command of you, of your hunger, of your needs. Also, pretty common in perimenopause is women that are extremely fatigued. They come to me and they cannot even go to work. I sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and I wake up tired. I don't know what it is with me. This usually is because your cortisol curve is backwards. So your cortisol is dysregulated and you have low cortisol when it should be high and you have high cortisol when it should be low. So that people that tells you like, I'm super tired, I don't know, around 6 p.m., but around 10 p.m. I get my second shot of energy and I do everything and then I cannot go to sleep. This is a cortisol dysregulation problem. And I think everyone should be testing cortisol if you're feeling like that, independently if you need to lose weight or not. It's so easy to fix, to make you feel good again, to make you feel like you have the right energy during the right times of the day again. If your cortisol is super high at night, you're not going to be able to sleep. And we know, studies show that if you don't sleep, you eat around 300 to 500 more calories a day just because you had a bad night of sleep. So do you think it's only about willpower that you're eating more than you should or things that you shouldn't? It's not only about willpower. It is your hormones not helping you, to put it in a nice way. Okay, next test that I run for my clients is hair mineral test. Yes, it's a hair sample, and what we look for is minerals and electrolytes. And basically, we look for imbalances, especially on the pairs, on the ratios, because minerals work on pairs. And if the ratios are off, you are going to feel that. Your body is really going to feel that. Your metabolism is not going to work well. It's like if you have a car and you don't do the oil change or you don't put air in the tires, is that car going to perform? No, it's not going to perform. It's still a car. It looks like a car, but it doesn't move the way that car is supposed to move. Same thing happens with your body if your electrolytes and minerals are off. If you're depleted, your metabolism is not going to work. And this also impacts your hormones like thyroid hormone, cortisol. See? So it is a loop. Magnesium, potassium, sodium, zinc are super important for thyroid function. If those minerals are not there, your thyroid is going to be sluggish. It's not going to work well. And you're not going to be able to burn fat efficiently. Most women in perimenopause are depleted. And the major reason is because they've been dieting for a while. I mean, they got in perimenopause, they gain 10, 20 pounds because of the hormonal change or whatever. And they're trying to lose it and they can't. So they eat less, exercise more. And they are completely depleting their body. And their minerals are off, are depleted. I don't think I have ever tested a female client that had these results that you see here came perfect. For example, here, sodium and potassium are low. If she has low sodium and potassium, she's going to be extremely fatigued. She's going to have poor digestion, trouble recovering from workouts. So if it's an athlete or someone that is active, it's going to be really hard to recover from workouts. This happens to me often because of my exercise load. I need to take a lot of electrolytes because I sweat very salty. And if I don't, I see it on these tests and it matches my symptoms. I am extremely fatigued and craving salty food. So it is not in your head. Your body is telling you what you need. I know if I'm craving salty food, I run this test and I am low in magnesium and sodium and potassium and magnesium, but especially sodium and potassium. And of course, this leads to a slow metabolism. Then magnesium here, these tests are sometimes tricky to read because, for example, magnesium, it shows high, but it shows high because your magnesium is being lost through your hair, which means you are depleted. So you're not absorbing your magnesium, you're expelling it. And that translates into insulin sensitivity, sleep issues, stress, because your body, your nervous system cannot calm down, cortisol dysregulation, and we already talked what cortisol does. And if you cannot calm your nervous system and you're anxious, when you feel anxious, what do? Well, you eat more, you eat, right? We call it anxiety eating. Well, there you go. So it is not you wanting certain food. Like if your body is in balance, it's so much easy to eat healthy and to diet. But if your body is in a complete state of depletion and a mess, it is almost impossible to follow a diet because you just can't. Your body's asking for things. You have no idea how many clients I get that we run this test, we start supplementing, and then in 3 months, they start losing weight like without any effort. And I don't want to say here, like, you have to be careful with how you say things here on social media and videos and stuff. I'm not saying this is magic. I am not saying you're not going to have to diet. I am not saying you're not going to have to put the work in. What I'm saying is that it is going to be easy to diet, that you're not going to have anxiety that makes you eat, that you're not going to have terrible cravings, that you're not going to be extremely fatigued, so you're going to have more energy to work out, that you're going to be sleeping better, which translate on better mood, better energy, less cravings. See, I am not saying this is going to make you lose weight if you take these supplements. No. But if you rebalance your body, dieting and having a healthy lifestyle feels like zero effort. There is no need for willpower. It's just easy. Okay, and the last one that I run, which is a little bit more expensive and more complicated, is a hormonal test where we evaluate estrogen, progesterone, the ratio between estrogen and progesterone, which is very important because if you have high estrogen, your symptoms are completely different than if you have low estrogen. And you're going to tell me, perimenopause, Karen, how are you going to have high estrogen? You may not have a high estrogen, but if your progesterone is low, you are going to have the symptoms of what we call estrogen dominance. So you have the symptoms of high estrogen. Your estrogen is normal, but you have the symptoms of high because it works in pairs with progesterone. And if progesterone is low, this ratio is off. So you have the symptoms of high estrogen. And what do we do for that? Well, it's pretty simple. We supplement with certain natural things during a specific phase of your menstrual cycle to promote progesterone production. For example, it doesn't make magic. If you have a real important problem, you're going to need replacement therapy. But for people that are women that are just in perimenopause and they just have a light hormonal imbalance, this will fix the problem. It is so easy. So that test checks for A1C, insulin, vitamin D, which is very important for all the functions and energy, thyroid hormones, and I think that's it. I'm going to put an example here of the results that gives you. But I also do a questionnaire and assessment of symptoms that I can correlate with all this, and based on that is that my clients in perimenopause that seems to have never been able to lose weight now start losing weight without any issue. Okay. What I do after I test this? Well, we supplement the minerals that are depleted. We use specific adaptogens and natural supplements to promote hormonal balance. We work on nutrition specific for the needs. If a person has really high cortisol, the nutrition approach is going to be different for a person that has normal cortisol levels. If a person has the cortisol curve inverted, the exercise approach is going to be completely different than from a person that has a normal cortisol curve. So it sounds complicated, but it's just having the full picture of how your body is doing so we can address and the nutrition and supplements in the way that you need. That's why when you hear someone did this and lost weight and it's not working for me, someone took this supplement and lost weight and it's not working for me, this is why, because you don't know. You're just taking guesses. This is it. This is the secret. I'm going to leave you here a link to do the hormonal assessment that I do for my clients. That is just a questionnaire of symptoms, but that's going to give you an idea if you have imbalances or not. And then if you want to get this test, you can send me an email and I'll send you the link to get the test. You do them at home. You get them by mail. You do the saliva, the blood, the hair, you put them in the mail, and then you get the results. We do a consultation and we set a plan for you. As simple as that. I'll see you on the next one.